was recently in the market for a Breitling Navitimer automatic. However, I came across this one for sale, which is a Breitling Navitimer 806. Year of manufacture is probably about 1965, 1966, going by the serial number, and the width is roughly 40 to 41 mil wide. It's got a manual wind Venus 178 movement, and you can probably see that as Navitimers go, this is quite shallow from top to bottom. It fits the wrist very nicely, and it's a really nice watch. Say it had a few dents and dings in it when I got it. I've cleaned it up a little, but there's a nice little sort of vintage look to it, and sometimes a few little marks are not to be accepted. The dial's in fairly good condition. You can have a look at a lot of these 806s. The dials are really rough. If they've had any damp or anything like that, they can be really distressed, and also the hands can be damaged as well. If you are in the market for an 806, I would really recommend that the first thing you consider, even before worrying about the movement being repaired, is the condition of the dial. They're expensive to repair, the hands are very expensive to buy, and they are hard to find anyhow. So look at the dial before you look at anything, because most things can be repaired. The dials can only be repainted, and they never look right. Also, the slide rule white bezel around the outside is another item that's hard to find, and you'll find quite a few that have been repainted, but when you have a close look at them, they never ever look right. So first thing, look at the dial and the hands. Worry about the rest of it afterwards, because if that's bad, the rest of it will be as well. However, having said that, I picked this watch up about 6 or 8 weeks ago. It's fairly accurate, not as accurate as a modern automatic or a new watch, or obviously a quartz watch, but nevertheless it has a nice vintage look that I quite like. It's not too big, and as I say, it sits quite nicely on the wrist. When I got the watch, it had a rather nondescript sort of alligator pattern strap on it, so I've changed it for this. This is a sort of a buffalo pattern one with a sort of ivory stitching, which I think sets it off quite well, and it sits quite nicely with the watch, and it's quite a thick strap as well, so it doesn't look lost which is quite a big watch. I also invested in a new 20mm Breitling clasp. Now, these are wonderful quality, and they're a very inexpensive item, but what I would say is, if you don't have very long fingernails, I'd think twice about maybe going just for a buckle instead, because they're very difficult to get loose. They're very tight, and if you haven't got fingernails, you'll have a struggle opening it once you've got it on. However, that's the watch as I find it. I hope you've enjoyed this short video. I think I've said everything I can about it. Nice watch. I enjoy wearing it, and it's a really nice fit on the wrist. I would consider it if you like vintage watches at all, because this particular watch is a bit under the radar somehow, and I hadn't even really come across it before I even considered it till I saw it for sale, just in passing. So I would certainly give it a thought. Anyhow, thanks for watching.